marriage material doesn't mean that the person is perfect in every way. Like nobody is perfect, not men, not women. You can be marriage material, but still maybe be deficient in, let's say, saving money. You could be marriage material, but not be as romantic as the woman might need if her what did that men are from Venus, men are from Mars, that whole book. Like if a woman has emotional, if that's her one of her sensories or
Tan,
connection. Yes.
I'm not creating the standard for these women that say that these men are marriage material. They are creating the standard. That's the only standard that they're going by. They're saying that these men hit a certain metric. He checks off these boxes. It's their standard, not mine. I'm not enforcing my standard of a marriageable man onto them. They're letting me know what their standard is. And because I haven't delved into what that means, I'm trusting them as adults to express, articulate, or identify those things. So if they can identify, then that means they should be able to comply with what they need or what they want.
But just because a person is marriage material doesn't mean they're perfect in every way.
Nobody,
I still
Tan,
stand by that.
Tan, nobody said perfection. Nobody
Right.
said perfection. These women
Right.
are the women who said these people or men in particular are marriage material are going based off of their own standard, which means in their
I'm talking
that's
about
what you said.
no.
Where's
But you're not
It's
letting me
where's
finish.
y'all standard coming from then? Where's y'all standard coming
for
from then?
example, when I'm dating, if I see guys in a room, my girlfriend is like, "Oh, I like him." Like, "Oh, he looks like." I mean, he seems to be marriage material. I may not be dating for myself. I mean, in general, the things that a person will, want out of a man. Now, it's going to be up to you to make sure you guys are compatible. The chemistry is there. All of the other things that need to be there are there, and that's the part that's used that's missing. He can be great on paper. He, does all these things, blah, 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 blah. But he may not be great for you because you just don't have a connection with him.
So when
Women need
Marcus,
a connection.
hold on. When Marcus asked you all specifically, because he asked you specifically, have you all met marriage material men? The expectation is that whatever standard he met matches yours. So now you're telling
No,
me
so that's
Not
not what we were
necessarily.
meaning by marriage
okay.
material.
So have you? Okay, so how about this? Have you met any marriage material men that met your standard of marriage material? Not a general sense where he'd be good to marry. Your standard.
Yeah, I've met one. In my 44 years, I've met one.
Okay. What about you? Anyone else? Coach K, you take 10. So can
Yeah,
we
I mean,
please?
I'm in a relationship. So,
Oh,
yes.
okay, so Shan and Inez, right? What
You know,
about you, Inez?
Inez. So I just recently got out of a relationship, so it's a no for me in terms of the recently.
But so you just not recent. I'm talking about have you met a man that is marriageable by your standards?
Yep. Yes. More than
Okay.
one.
Okay, so the people who aren't in relationships or married, where is this man currently? What happened?
well, for me, we just were not. It was because I thought he was perfect, but obviously it didn't work out because on his end. So
So for me, it was me. Um, I was not. I was not the person that he wanted to marry, and I can be honest about that.
same here. That's what I meant when I said that.
I appreciate the honesty for that
Yeah,
answer. I know that probably isn't the easiest
that
to say.
that is not easy to
Appreciate it.
come to terms with. I appreciate that for real, honestly.
Can I add something which kind of is what I was touching on earlier with the guy not or the marriage not creating like the satisfaction or happiness? I'm using them like interchangeably, but if you want me to really like pinpoint a word, I will. But it's like I think we all understand that the guy that we marry or potentially want to be with the intention of being together a long time is going to have some pitfalls in addition to just regular life challenges that come up. And that's why I said it's up to the woman. Because I want to empower women, of course. This goes for men too, but I want women to take more power, their power back from for their emotions from the relationship itself. So it's like that way they're in charge of that and they don't have to rely on things looking, picture perfect or whatever. so that they're happy or that they can be happy. And then they don't have to leave a relationship because they're not happy, because it's up to them, really. Now, of course, if a guy is physically, I don't know if we could say that word for whatever reason, if they're, hitting people, then yeah, obviously you don't want to be happy with that person. I'm not saying that. But let's say, you and your guy are having a miscommunication. You can work to wrap your mind around that in a way that serves you because you love your husband. And I guess it's just like, and then even with the stress thing, which is 100% right, about the cortisol and being in fight or flight. But I think all of us humans create more stress for ourselves because we're not aware of what we're thinking. Our thoughts are creating our feelings, whether we're aware of them or not. And we have a prefrontal cortex that allows us to be aware of those thoughts. We just have to create that awareness with mindfulness or whatever. So it's like, I just want women to know that they have more power than they think. And if they want power in a certain way, it actually is within them already. They don't have to rely on a man. But this makes relationships wonderful. This is what saved my relationship a few years ago. I was a monster, and I tell that all the time. So that's kind of what I was talking about, but also too with this whole standard thing. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I'm done. Bye.
So I'm gonna also say, like, even before it gets to being in a relationship or being in marriage, understanding the reality of what it is that you're looking for, right? Like, we talk about all the time on the internet, these women that want quote unquote high value men. A lot of them are entrepreneurs. Do you understand that you're going to spend a lot of time alone? Are you actually okay with that? Or are you telling yourself that you're okay because you want to buy into the lifestyle? Is that something that you actually desire? Is that fulfilling for you to be able to have this separation from your partner for long periods of time, right? You're looking for somebody who has certain physical attributes. Are you a woman who's secure enough to be okay with women throwing themselves at him, even if you're there? Right. So it's understanding the reality of what you're asking for and not thinking about it as if it's like a silo in isolation from the rest of the world. Right. Are you really willing to make the sacrifices or the changes or find fulfillment in exactly what it is that you're asking for? And I think that'll really change the way women start to enter into relationships when they become more realistic about the reality of what they're asking for.
I completely agree, Inas. That is one of the first times I think I've ever agreed with you. And I also agree, Coach K, you choose happiness. You choose it. It is an individual choice. And a man can't necessarily be responsible for your happiness because at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's
You guys suck at
100%
it. I'm just kidding.
up
I
to
mean,
you.
it's true though.
So, I mean, as long as he's not, swinging on you or breaking you down mentally, the rest of it's up to you. And I just wanted to throw something in there because I've been kind of quiet for the last 47 minutes.
I was about to say, who is this talking?
I know, right?
My man.
No, honestly, I was taking it in because everybody had a fair point the entire time. So I'm like, ooh, maybe I should. Nope, Trigger, you got that one.
It's like double, like you trying to get in there.
So no, I it was nice to. Oh, and thank you, Inaz, for sharing because that takes courage, and I appreciate that. I appreciated that.
Facts. That's a fact.
So,
And Sharon.
oh, yeah, because I said the same thing, but I guess Inaz's words are always better than mine. I suck at delivery. My communication sucks.